Hello everybody, it's Bourbon Bill, and tonight, a very special episode. That's right, it's time for the turkey. It's almost Thanksgiving. Probably the biggest bourbon-esque holiday of the year, perhaps besides Christmas. And you might ask yourself, Bourbon Bill, what am I going to take to Thanksgiving dinner? For the family to share, for me to drink, could be a whole slew of things. But tonight we got you covered. We're going to go over the top 10 bottles that you should be taking to Thanksgiving. Now I don't mean you should take all 10. It's just I'm going to give you 10 good options. Hopefully that these, most of these are available to you and that you can go grab them on your shelf. But these are the things that I find the most delicious and that would go the best with all the guests at Thanksgiving. So number 1, none other than Russell's Reserve 10-year 90 proof. And you might say, 90 proof, Bourbon Bill, we like higher proof. But not everybody at Thanksgiving will. So this is 90 proof, 10-year age statement. So to, not super bourbon drinkers are like, wow, 10 years old, that must be good. I mean, these guys are used to drinking like Basil Hayden's and Evan Williams Black Label. I mean, they're, Old Crow even. I mean, these are old, crappy, bottom shelf stuff they're used to drinking. This will taste like the biggest delight of their lives. So there you go. Number 1 is a turkey product. Good old Russell's Reserve 10-year comes in at about $40 here in PA. So it won't break the bank, but it certainly isn't bottom shelf. Next up on the list, number 2, the Mighty Eagle Rare. Now I know, these are harder to get. At least here in PA, these stick around a lot longer than the Blanton's, which I, of course, did not include on this list because A, Blanton's is not that good, and B, it's much harder to find of pretty much any of the Buffalo Trace products. I don't have currently a bottle of Buffalo Trace, but a bottle of Buffalo Trace would also work because, of the hype around it. So this stands in as kind of like your hype bottle. If you can't find this, though, get the Russell's 10. That's kind of why I had these next to each other. But good old 90 proof Eagle Rare, it's got that American Eagle on it. People love that. Another big hitter for Thanksgiving. Alright, number 3. Next up, Knob Creek 12 here. Rocking that big 12 age statement. Delicious blend of sweeter and oak flavors. Maybe not the easiest to find in your area, but here in PA these are $60, 60 to 70, so it's getting pricier. But for people that enjoy a good pour of bourbon, this is a good one to bring. And it's certainly not a $100 bottle, something like that. But everyone appreciates this. Good old Knob Creek 12. Knob Creek 9, 120 proof. So either the shelf version or a good store pick. Store picks can be had for 40, 50, 60, somewhere in that price range. If you can't find a store pick, they do have the, Knob Creek 9, 120 proof. One of the cheaper options here tonight, besides the Russell's 10 and the Eagle Rare, if you got that at MSRP, goes great in cocktails because of the high proof, or bourbon lovers can drink it neat. So another excellent option for Thanksgiving, and usually readily available. So even if you don't have a 12-year in your store, you probably have one of the Knob Creek 9-year 120 proofs. If you can't find that, the Knob Creek 9 is also a good, cheaper stand-in. Old Forester 1920, 115 proof standby, the darling of many. What some might consider the peak of the Old Forester line of readily available bourbons. Here in PA, $59.99 a bottle. That price can vary somewhat, but it's generally in that range. Bourbon drinkers love it. Would go good in the cocktail, though a little expensive for that. But usually everyone doesn't mind this if they, are into bourbon somewhat. And good, delicious, high-proof pour. Now, if you want something a little lower proof, Old Forester 1910. My personal favorite of the Old Forester line. 93 proof, delicious dessert whiskey. So for those newer to whiskey, the sweeter, bolder flavors here might attract them a little more than the higher proof stuff we talked about. But delicious sipping whiskey for dessert, with the coffee, after the meal. Right here you go. Goes good with cake and pie too. Now we'll talk about a few special bottles perhaps. A lot of you might have Midnight Winter's Dram on your list, but if you watch my video, I'll link above, I would skip that one and instead Get yourself a Sagamore Spirit Sherry Finished Rye. Utter deliciousness of sherry flavor, red fruits, good rye here, coming in at 106 proof. So not going to hurt you, but not too light. Delicious desserty pour in the rye category for those rye lovers at your Thanksgiving. Now we're down to really 8, 9, and 10, but these are what I consider 3, 2, 1, if you will. Good old Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. Any of the Elijah Craig Barrel Proofs, this doesn't matter which one. For 65 doll hairs, around that price range, delicious pour. If you have family that enjoys bourbon, this will be a hit with all of them. Alright, really 9, but number 2 we'll say. Can't go anywhere in the holidays without a good Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. Probably pretty readily available, and probably the pinnacle of the Jack Daniel's lineup of regularly available bourbon. I said bourbon. Delicious banana flavor on here, sometimes char. Delicious. The high proof can scare some off, so you could put this in a cocktail, but delicious all the way around with those good banana flavors. Always a good holiday bottle. And now, the number 1 bottle you should not go to Thanksgiving dinner without. Wild Turkey Rare Breed, the quintessential Thanksgiving bourbon. In fact, this one here is sealed, awaiting my family's Thanksgiving. So there you go, 116.8 proof, delicious, $46 here in PA. Can go great in cocktails, beautiful, neat, arguably one of the best Wild Turkey products, and the quintessential Thanksgiving bourbon. So if you can only pick one, you pick this one. So if you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. Thank you. Have a great evening, everybody.